Afternoon. Come closer. Come into this. Come closer. All the things that you may have been building up over your heart and your eyes throughout the days and the weeks and the years, set them down. Undress your vulnerability and come into this. Come closer. You are quite the beauty. If no one has ever told you that before, know that right now you are quite the beauty. There is joy in how your mouths dance with your teeth. Your smiles are simply signs of how sacred your life actually is, so step into it. Come closer. Know that whatever God might be, He asked the world to help Him make something of worth. He woke from dreaming, scraped soil from the spaces stuck somewhere inside Himself. He made you and He was happy. You make the world happy. Come into this. Come closer. Know that something softer than us, but just as holy, planted pieces of Himself into our feet that we might one day dance our way back. Know that you are almost home. Come just a little bit closer. There are birds that beat their wings beneath your breastplates. Gentle sparrows that ache to sing. Come aching hearts, come soldiers of joy, doormen of truth. Know that my heart was too big for my body, so I let it go. And most days this world has thinned me to the point where I'm just another cloud, forgetting another flock of swans, having shaved off so many of my corners that I felt at home only in the shape of a ball, bending myself so far backwards that the song of my mother believed that I was returning home. But believe me when I tell you that somehow my soul still squeezes into narrow spaces. Place your hand beneath your head when you sleep tonight. Perhaps you will find it there, making beauty as we sleep, as we dream, as we turn over. When we turn over in the ground, may the ghosts that we have asked our answers of do that turning, kneading us into crumbs of light and into this thing-loved thing called life. Come into it. Come, you wooden museums, gentle tigers, little giants. I see teacups upside down, glowing across your grins. Your hearts are like my hands. Some days all they do is tremble. I'm like you. I'm just like you. I too at times am filled with so much fear, but like a hallway must find the strength to walk through it. Walk through this with me, through this church of blood, bone, and muscle that is ours. There is a doorknob that glows like chance before you. Grab it, turn, and pull. Step through, back straight, chin up, eyes open, hearts loud. Hearts loud. Walk through this with me. Walk through this with me. For you and I, we are not so very different. We are so much more alike than we may appear to be at times. We all wanted a high school sweetheart. We wanted to be young in the 50s with meatloafs and sock hops and lawns so perfect they looked like Clark Gable was kissing them. We wanted to be 13 and alive and meet a girl that was 13 and alive and walk with her past the grandstands, to sit and hold hands with, to sit and sit with, to sit and kiss with, like it was something that you would miss, but that never was. We once went to bed like between the bed sheets was a valley where dinosaurs still breathed, and how we would capture these triceratops and brontosauruses, but even he was opened up with the smoke that rose out of the homes and the corners that we once climbed through. The streets and the footballs of which we once threw, the school desks upon which we once drew, the windows that sat open through which we once flew before the outside world of parking spaces and dead friends came flooding on in, and we forgot what we wanted, and we became what we become. Waitresses and bartenders, city employees and temp positions. We are junkies and one-kiss poems, and we cry the stars as we write our scars onto dumpsters and electric boxes, because the only one that's listening are the streets, and the only ones listening are the streets, and the only ones listening are these burning buildings that we try to climb our way out of, but instead we get buried somewhere beneath, because I know my life is like some high school kid's notebook. That kid that shuffles back and forth between school and home, stacking the letters and the pictures too close for anyone outside of his own imagination to read, because it's through the ink that his heart beats, that his heart breathes. And we all just wanted to write these notes. Check if you like me. Check if you don't. Check if you'll date me. Check if you won't, because we all wanted the love songs to be true. And we did love dinosaurs once. We wanted the stars to hold our hands, to lick the teeth, to love us. So let your smiles twist, like my heart dancing precariously on the edge of my fingertips, staining them like that same high school kid licking his thoughts using his Sharpie tip, writing, I was here. I was here. And ain't none of y'all can write that in the spot that I just wrote it in. I am here breathing in, and you are here breathing out. And every breath I breathe brings me a second closer to the day that my mother may die. And every breath I take takes me a second further than when she caught my father's eye. And every word I carry is another stone to put into place in the foundation that I'm building these days, and erase something that I never saw. What all of us wanted and what none of us got, what we all had and have, and what we all forgot, that we all wanted to be something, that we all became something. And it might not be the mess we wanted to be when we were kids, but something is still something. And like some cats say, something's better than nothing. Feet are smarter than an engine, and dreams are stronger than thighs, and questions are the only answers we need to have to know that we are as alive as the time when I held the mind of a child, asking, why is 2 + 3 always equal to 5? Where do people go to when they die? What made the beauty of the moon and the beauty of the sea? Did that beauty make you? Did that beauty make me? Will it make me something? Will I be something? Am I something? And the answer comes, you already are. You always were. And you still have time to be. Thank you. So I'm 35 years old. And I'm trying to figure out most days what being a man means. And I don't drink, I don't fight, I don't love. But these days I find myself wanting to do all three. And I don't really have a favorite color anymore, but I did when I was a kid. And back then, that color was blue. And back then, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be an astronaut, an architect, an artist, a secret agent, a ranger for the World Wildlife Fund, and a hobo. And when I was 6 years old, I used to always throw my clothes in my blue and yellow plastic and vinyl Hot Wheels car-carrying suitcase and run away to beneath the dining room table. I've made out with more girls than I wish that I've had, and not nearly as many as I would like to. I've been in love 3 or 4 times, so I doubt I'm going to try that much more often. And I spend most days making pictures or thinking about making pictures. And I dream too much, and I don't write enough, and I try to find God everywhere, trying to figure out this thing made called a man. And the television tells me that it's bare-knuckle bombing, and that being a man means driving a tank, being a movie star. But my pops does neither of those. He puts the garbage out twice a week. He drives 45 minutes to water flowers. I'm sitting on the bus when a 7-year-old boy carrying a book of Robin Hood, he sits down next to me and he asks me my name. Anis. That's a nice name, thank you. What's yours? Quentin. Anis, do you want to read with me? So tell me what my fists keep writing. My fingers open up like gates when I type, and the wind is swinging in the wake. I lift bridges with poems, and forests grow in my mother's eyes. I'm looking for God, Quentin. While this world tries to forget you for trying, for this world, Quentin, it hates your eyes, for they are small and they are pure. And Quentin, this world hates your fingers, little like the stems of flowers, for not being able to pick up the things that you've left behind, just because you are still learning to do so. I don't drink, fight, or love, but these days, Quentin, it's only 2 out of those 3 that I don't do. And I've fallen in love 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, Quentin. So I don't want to, but I still do. And I want to find God in the morning and in the tired hands of dusk, at the mouth of the river and down by its feet. But instead, I drive 60 through residential streets praying to hit a child, that he may stay forever full of night and life and simple outstretched limbs, trying to pick up way too much, way too fast, forgetting what it means to be a person in a world where egos are measured with tablets tabloids, where automobiles double for morals, where beliefs are like naps, you leave them behind when somebody touches you, and in a place where oil always seems to take precedence over life, I find myself sitting on a bus, watching a small boy tumble down like fresh water, carrying a book that I used to, asking if I want to see what he sees, if only for a little while, and I do. And then asks if I want to give to him what I see, if only for a little while, and I read to him. And then says to me, he's going to show me the world, and starts reading me the sentences himself, his hands dancing back and forth across the pages, stumbling over words, skipping whole lines because his fingers are moving faster than what they're showing his eyes. I want to tell him, slow down, Quentin. Slow down. You don't have to touch and go. You can see it all if your finger whispers on one word. Slow down and hold what you see just a little while longer, for in a world full of fast, fast faces, I'm looking for God everywhere, trying to figure out a little better this little thing he made called a man. Thank you. I have a couple more poems for you guys. In my underwear, I write poetry. Two-headed poetry. Three-legged poetry. Poetry with 10 spigots and no training wheels. There are flames airbrushed across my back, and I have bare feet. Bare feet. Feet. Speak up, I walk with sticks in my ears and I'm filling twigs with sentences, filing my nails down with memories. My love, it can shave diamonds. Scientists speculate over it. I come from the moon. Neil and Buzz and that third guy, they walked across my tummy. I giggled in a spoonful of cherub, tasted like cherries and wallabies. I write 2 underwear poems. My poems take off both underwears and dance naked around the candelabra in the living room. I am writing wrist and rubber bands on the back of the belly's bathtub. Pressing my lips to the shower curtain, I whisper, the goat man is in the woods dancing, the chupacabra, the book man, the golden nugget. There is a cloud splintering like a kneecap inside of my leg. Buy me pants, mother. Buy me a hat. There are moths in my shoulders. I am shaking. I am full of love. I was full of love. I carved out pear-shaped slices of it and fed 1,000,000 tired ankles. God sat on my shoulder like a cricket. I swatted a bee like a father's advice and asked for it again. Where can I go when every bridge has wheels running alongside its bottom? But I write poems with no training wheels. I write my skull like it was a color I was picking up and examining inside of my hands for the very first time. Standing at the corner of Central Park East and 63rd Street, I hold an imaginary football like a small child. Stand 2 inches in front of a yellow wall and scream directly into the wall's bricks, "Go deep!" As I fling the pigskin against the wall, I try to catch my childhood bouncing back at me. Go deep. I'm a 3-headed galumph, a blue giraffe, a water fountain on the moon. Catch me, carbon. Catch me, galumph. Catch me, galumph catcher. Catch me, Lord. Hold me like a bowl, like how the clouds hold the moon, holding the rooftops of this city in my memories, in my veins. In my veins. There is a lonely mermaid, and she murmurs all day long. She sings, he sings, such beautiful songs. Her throat is a girl I once knew. Her nose, it is made of silver. Her backbone is a plum. Her backbone is a plum. Thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. This is my last poem. This is for the fat girls. This is for the little brothers. This is for the schoolyard wimps and for the childhood bullies that tormented them. For the former prom queens and for the milk crate ball players. For the nighttime cereal eaters and for the retired elderly Walmart store front door greeters. Shake the dust. This is for the benches and the people sitting upon them. For the bus drivers driving 1,000,000 broken hymns. For the men who have to hold down 3 jobs simply to hold up their children. For the nighttime schoolers and for the midnight bike riders trying to fly. Shake the dust. This is for the 2-year-olds who cannot be understood because they speak half English and half God. Shake the dust. For the boys with the beautiful, beautiful sisters. Shake the dust. For the girls with the brothers who are going crazy. The ones who are going out of their minds. For the gym class wallflowers. And the 12-year-olds afraid of taking public showers. For the kid who's always late to class because he forgets the combination to his lockers. For the girl who loves somebody else. Shake the dust. This is for the hard men who want love but know that it won't come. For the ones who are forgotten, the ones the amendments do not stand up for the ones who were told, speak only when you are spoken to, and then never spoken to, speak every time you stand, so you do not forget yourself. Do not forget yourself. Do not let one moment go by that doesn't remind you that your hearts beat thousands of times every single day, and that there are enough gallons of blood to make every one of you oceans. Do not settle for letting these waves settle and for the dust to collect in your veins. This is for the celibate pedophile who keeps on struggling, for the poetry teachers, and for the people who go on vacations alone, for the sweat that drips off of Mick Jagger's singing lips, and for the shaking skirt on Tina Turner's shaking hips, for the heavens and for the hells through which Tina has lived. This is for the tired and for the dreamers, for those families that will never be like the Cleavers with perfectly made dinners and sons like Wally and the Beaver. This is for the bigots, for the sexists, for the killers, for the big house jail-sentenced cats becoming redeemers, and for the springtime that somehow seems to know to show up after every one of our winters. This is for you. Make sure that by the time the fisherman returns, you are gone. Because just like the days I burn at both ends, and every time I write, every time I open my eyes, I'm cutting out parts of myself just to give them to you. So shake the dust and take me with you when you do, for none of this has ever been for me. All that pushes and pulls and pushes and pulls, it pushes for you. So grab this world by its clothespins and shake it out again and again and jump on top and take it for a spin. And when you hop off, shake it again, for this is yours. Make my words worth something. Make this more than just another poem that I write, more than just another poem, like just another night that sits heavy above every one of us. Walk into it. Breathe it in. Let it crash through the halls of your arms like the millions of years of millions of poets, coursing like blood, pumping and pushing, making you live, shaking the dust so when the world knocks at your front door, clutch the knob tightly, but then open on up and run forward. Run forward as far and as fast as you must into its widespread greeting arms, with your hands outstretched before you, fingertips trembling though they may be. Thank you very much.